Hello, everyone. This podcast on creativity and labor market in the 21st century is part of a series of materials produced within the Erasmus Plus project Find Your Talent, Work on Your Skills, which unfolded between 2019-2022 with the involvement of and hard efforts of a wonderful team of youth workers and young people from the Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, and Romania. More details about our project you will find in the description below. According to a study of the Economic International Forum, problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity will be the top 3 skills searched by employers in the next decade or so. With this in mind, we must remember that adults and youngsters alike often associate creativity with a fear of failure as well as with an anxiety on being wrong and failing at something. And this is why here it's a very nice moment to come up with 3 quotes of people that are much more smart than I am, which said some of the following. And I quote from Mr. Peel: "The problem with ordinary people is that they do not trust themselves enough in order to create, and this is why they abandon their ideas." Another quote from Mr. Ken Robinson himself says, "If you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original." And the last one from Alvin Toffler: "Imagination is free only when you leave aside the fear of being wrong." A quite accurate description of today's situation on the labor market for the young people is given by Andreas Scheider from OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, one of those fancy big organizations that tell us what to do, but they also have a lot of insight and a quite good overview of what's happening. Is as it follows. Today, because of rapid economic and social change, schools have to prepare students for jobs that have not yet been created, technologies that have not yet been invented, and problems that we don't know yet how will arise. So this is a pretty accurate description of what we need to face up in the future, and if we just think of the last 2-3 years, we understand how adequate is this description. As such, a list of 21st century skills that young people need, but adults alike, because we need to learn throughout our lives and things are in a constant and way rapid, much more rapid changes than before. So such a list would comprise skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, analysis, interpretation, synthesizing information. Research skills and practices, interrogative questioning. Creativity, the big skill that we worked for and we investigated for our project and tried to boost it up to our participants, youngsters and adults alike. Creativity, artistry, curiosity, imagination, innovation, and personal expression. Other skills necessary for the 21st century: perseverance, self-direction, planning, self-discipline, adaptability, and initiative. Oral and written communication, public speaking and presenting, listening. Leadership, teamwork, collaboration, cooperation, facility in using virtual workspaces, information and communication technology, civic, ethical, and social justice literacy, economic and financial literacy, entrepreneurship, global awareness, humanitarianism, environmental and conservation literacy, ecosystems understanding, health and wellness literacy, including nutrition, diet, exercise, and public health and safety, and the list could go on. Already overwhelming to know that there are so many skills that you need, while actually in reality a lot of them we already have. It's just a way of sharpening them out. If these skills are so important, why is it that the educational system doesn't emphasize their importance so much? Well, because things are changing in a fast rhythm, while the educational system and the society in general are still a bit a step behind. But this is not a tragedy, and we should not blame society for being a bit slower. We should actually push ourselves into being a bit faster and working with ourselves and with the people around us, so that we actually tackle with these skills and get ourselves and the youngsters that we work with in a context, in a learning context that will allow them to sharpen such skills or to acquire them completely. Of course, there are some blockages in creativity that we mentioned before. Some of them have to do with our fear of insecurity, of anxiety, the fear of making a mistake, the fear of being different from the others, the tendency to perfection, lack of perseverance, and being discouraged in front of difficulties. And this is normal. It's just that if we actually have a very clear look and understanding of ourselves, and we admit these blockages to ourselves, there's already like half the road is already made, and we can step up and actually change some things in regards to this. Of course, there are also some perceptive blockages, in the sense that we get familiarized with a certain environment and we fail to see some new significances, some new relations, some new ideas. It's about things that got into a routine and numb us. They don't give us the free space to see elements of novelty. This is why sometimes disruptors in art and in various fields are very useful, and actually they can show you new paths, they can shake up things and lead to new solutions. One of the biggest obstacles is when we hear people saying, I'm not creative. Everybody is creative, but just in different ways and in different contexts. Not everybody can be a great painter, not everybody can be a great sculptor, not everybody can be a fantastic leader, but each of us has its pluses and points in which we excel. We just need to be a bit patient and explore in order to find that field in which we are best at. There are also cultural and social blockages, and these are the ones who actually cause a delay in the response of the society in dealing and in working on these new skills. People with unusual ideas, people who think outside of the box, are somehow seen as outsiders, as people who question the norms, and this is sometimes threatening for people who want to feel more comfortable and who just like to go along with the norms of society without questioning them and without fighting against the current. But these people are somehow the engines of creativity, and they're somehow the drivers of change in a society. Of course, in a world like ours, the insufficiency of resources is also another problem, and in this respect, we like it or not, money do matter, and in fields like in sport, in arts, in technical areas as well, resources are needed, because new ideas sometimes cost, sometimes they're free, they just need human minds to have a certain mindset, but in other respects there's a need for resources as well. And what we can do, each one of us as youth workers or young people, is to advocate next to our local authorities and stakeholders in the community to support us in any creative endeavors, and to explain to them that creative people can lead to positive changes, and that in order to be creative you need to exercise this just as you exercise any other skill. As you can understand from the list we just read a bit earlier, most of these skills do not imply knowledge in itself, studying, reading, like a scholastic education, but rather communication with peers, getting young people into new learning contexts, making them engage with each other in meaningful discussions. And this is something that youth work does a lot, extracurricular activities does a lot, international projects as well. Any context in which young people challenge their own beliefs and engage in meaningful conversations with others are ways for all of us to benefit from these new skills that are required on the labor market, which is more and more change, more and more fast rhythm going, and needs a lot of adaptability and a lot of creativity for solving all the issues that have already appeared in the few years, and probably new ones will come that we don't know yet. So keeping it in a positive note, go out there, talk to people, talk to young people, talk to peers, engage in meaningful conversations, work together with others, and these are things that will make you acquire those new skills that are needed now in the 21st century. Thank you very much.